When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
Happy New Year.
I can't believe it's a new year already.
I'm so happy it's a new year.
So we were like, well, what are we going to talk about? And we were thinking new era, new year, because new era is the theme of this year's podcast. And we're still in the same season, but it's like the later part of the season. You know, you have seasons in your life. You have seasons in a year.
And there's seasons in the podcast.
There's seasons in the era in the podcast. And something that, like, what made me think about this is that I don't like to make resolutions, but I mean, you can call them resolutions.
You can call them whatever you want.
Yeah. I don't like to make resolutions because I already feel like I'm not going to do it if I call it a resolution.
True.
Like, it's like you get a free pass for not doing them because everybody doesn't do them. So if I don't call them that,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have a free pass. So, and I don't like to put a lot of pressure on myself. So I don't even
Also
like,
good.
Yeah.
Also good. Mentally, no pressure.
That's the goal. So do you have anything that you're currently doing? Like, do you have a plan? I don't know if you want to call them a resolution, but was there something that you had planned you absolutely were going to do?
So the way I do it, because I'm kind of the same way, I, first of all, don't like to set myself up for failure. Kind of one of the reasons I don't diet during the holidays. Right. I just don't set myself up for failure. I've done it in the past and it doesn't work. I very much have a mindset that like goes against anything I tell it to do.
Yeah.
What is that called? Whenever
oppositional defiant disorder.
There you go. I have that.
My son actually has that, so I'm familiar.
So do I.
Yeah.
So anything that anybody tells me to do or not to do, my brain will automatically want to do the opposite of whatever it is that they told me. And I have to stop myself and say, no, okay, this is what I need to do to better my life. This is the right decision at the time.
Choices.
Yes. I'll have to stop myself very often, though. I mean, I was taught that from a young age because I've been in therapy from a young age. So I don't like to set myself up for failure. So if I don't give myself a resolution, it works better in my favor.
Right.
But I will take the time. I have
something.
more of a ritual around this time of year. I like to take the time because I'm already seeing family. I'm already having emotions being stirred. I like to take that time and ride that wave into what do I feel that I need to focus on more this year to help it grow.
Right.
To help bring it into a new season and into a new year. And also, what do I need to prune away? What could be keeping me back? What could be hindering me?
Well, I think, oftentimes,
or my spirit.
A lot of times people focus on what they need to do to better themselves, not understanding that the best thing they can do for themselves is to remove things from their life.
You have to be your own gardener.
Yeah.
And if you're not good at gardening, if you don't have a green thumb, then get some help.
Yeah.
But it's a good tool to be able to use to be able to garden your own life and prune away things that are not helping or it might be excess. If you have too much fruit, it can hurt the vine.
Yeah.
It can damage the vine. So you need to make sure that you are pruning away not just things that are holding you back or things that are sick and dying or need to be pruned away, but also the excess that you can cut off to help, give to other people, help provide, share your wealth, or your knowledge or whatever it is that you have that is in excess in your life to keep that balance. And that's what I try to do.
I think I started doing this this year without realizing I was doing it until I was doing it because it was very gradual over the year and we've talked about it. But I have removed myself from a lot of social things. Yeah. At first, I don't think it was on purpose, but now it is a little bit more on purpose. And it's not because I don't want to see the people I socialize with, because that's not the case at all. I like to socialize. It's the fact that it's time consuming.
Yes, and it's draining.
And and I need to put my time into some other things right now.
Yes.
Because all of that is maintaining that many relationships with good friends as often as I'm usually the organizer and the person getting it together. So I'm at most the things when you're the organizer. I just cannot. I don't have the bandwidth in me to do it. And so I made a unconscious decision that became a conscious decision to focus a little bit more on other things.
Yeah.
And not because my friends don't deserve the time, and I will definitely make time for them. Just not as much time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe their families will appreciate that too,
Yeah.
because they'll be home more.
That's true. Very true.
And just trying to streamline that. And so that is my number one thing, is to continue that, is to really pick who I spend my time with wisely.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine is going to a get-together that's happening among some mutual friends of ours. And I don't know what day it is. Sometime, maybe this week or next week. I'm not really sure what day it is. And so they were talking about it the other night, because I had gone to dinner with some friends the other night, and they were talking about it. And I don't know if I was invited. I think it's kind of an open invite.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was like, no, I don't think I was invited. I don't know. I didn't even look to see if I got one on Facebook, And they're like, yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm pretty sure I saw your name on the list, actually. And I was like, oh. I said, well, I'm not going. And they're like, why aren't you going? I was like, they're just not my people. Like, I don't dislike them.
And saying no is my new favorite thing.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't dislike them. They're just not my people. And if I'm going to put my energy and time into something, it's my people.
Yeah. That fell under a thing that needed to be pruned.
Yes, exactly.
And here we go, chop, chop.
Yes. And so that is really my big focus. I would say that my second big focus is working on some financial goals I have. And I think removing one of those things from my life will help the other.
Isn't it crazy how that happens?
It is crazy. It is crazy. And then something small, it's not a resolution. It's not something that I'm doing for any reason other than I just think it's a good idea to do it every once in a while, is I'm going to go alcohol-free from New Year's Eve. Like, that'll be the last of my drink. And honestly, it's New Year's Eve when we're recording this. I don't feel like having a drink. So I doubt I'll even have a drink tonight. But I was like, I'm going to be realistic, like what you said.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't realistic to say, hey, you're not going to do it on Christmas Day, because that's the anniversary of my brother passing. I was pretty sure there was going to be a drink somewhere involved. Mm-hmm. It would have ended up being a quarter of a jar of moonshine. But,
Whatever.
Whatever. It was fine.
Whatever tickles your fancy.
I just,
Whatever you got to do it.
And so anyway, so I was like, that's not realistic. And then I was like, New Year's Eve is actually realistic, because I'm not I don't like to go on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But let's just not do that, because then, what if something happens? Whatever. It's New Year's Eve. And, and then I was like, well, I can't do January, because my 50th birthday's in January. So I was talking to a friend about this, and my friend was like,
I just love where this is going.
She said, why can't you just give it up from the first through your birthday?
Yeah, that's a perfect step.
Yeah, well, my birthday's at the end of the month. Yeah. So, yeah. And so I was like, you know what? That's realistic. I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
That's what we call a baby step.
That is a baby step. And then I thought to myself, maybe I just need to plan on, not drinking except on holidays, and see how that goes. We're going to see how I feel after the 3 weeks. It's possible people have driven me so insane that I can't do that.
I understand.
But that is going to be what the goal is, and hopefully it helps me lose weight and be healthier and whatever the hell else. Have my memory come back. I don't know, but...
I think we're going to need more than 3 weeks for that.
A lot fucking more. And... serious. And then I started thinking, okay, I need things that make me feel positive. And that was kind of the one reason I wanted to have this conversation, is because a lot of people this time of year is really hard for. And it has become a very hard time of year for me, because as we've discussed, I've had some bad anniversaries on there. And so I really focused this particular time on keeping myself busy, which I think did help with my mental health, but it exhausted me.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I'm sick right now.
That's pretty much what I do. I exhaust myself.
I did that
to stay in a certain mind frame.
And I actually spent most of the time with my family and doing things with my family.
Yeah.
I mean, we went and did all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, my family exhausts me the quickest.
Yeah, and I'm tired. I'm so tired. And then when I'm not doing it with my family, another part of my family is I've been going to see my dad once a weekend. So I have to pack a lot into every weekend, and there's no rest. And I already suck at rest. I don't like to sit down. So I'm going to try and teach myself to relax a little bit, maybe.
That is a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible.
You have to learn to slow down. And it's a very difficult thing to do, especially when you have been in your fight or flight phase for so long. You are on autopilot. And so the exhaustion is even so familiar,
Yeah.
you don't even realize it's there.
Yeah. It's here.
And so it takes a lot of time to. That's why there's such merit in people that are like, go outside and touch some grass.
Yeah.
That's not a dig. Like, that's a really good idea,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
You need to go outside and you need to stand in the sun and you need to take some breaths and you need to learn how to just be still, because that's a foreign concept for most people.
Yeah. For me, it definitely is.
And if you cannot be still within yourself, if you can't slow yourself down, you need to start assessing that and try it.
It's funny because I changed doctors this year, and I changed doctors because I felt like I wasn't heard at my other doctor's office. I felt like every woman thing I talked about was just pushed off.
Yeah.
And so I went to this new doctor, love this doctor's office, love this doctor. And one of the things that they ask you at the beginning of every visit, you have to fill out your form at the beginning of a visit, and they have a little mental health thing. And I'm used to people having the one that's like, have you ever had a surgery? Have you given birth? Have you? But this one had a whole section on your mental health. And after doing it a few visits, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm ADHD. I'm not depressed. I feel like my checklist for the depressed part, no depression. ADHD, yep. And I've never really thought that way about myself. But I'm like, can you get this when you get older? Did I give it to myself?
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I had it when I was young.
Your brain never stops developing, and synapses never stop developing. They happen, and as you do something, it creates a stronger connection in your brain.
Yeah.
So your brain never stops changing. So you can develop things at a later time in life, especially with all the different chemical reactions that are going on in your body.
I mean, it's no joke.
Yeah, you definitely can. And especially if you don't understand what a certain thing is and the spectrum that it can fall under, you might be dealing with something that you don't even know you're dealing with until you understand it better.
Right. Yeah. Well, I understand that because I do have kids on the actual spectrum, and one of them does have very, very bad ADHD.
Yes.
And I recognize that all the time in him. Like, I see myself, but I didn't feel that way when I was a kid, like adult me. That and I'm just like, okay, he really, like today we've been slow at work. It's a holiday, and I actually had to work today, and we don't have a lot of customers, so I have to like keep busy. So I'm like, I want to watch all these videos. We have to watch videos once a year on safety or whatever. And so I was like, let me get as many of these videos done. Fuck me, man. This is why I could never go back to school. I could never go. I'm like 2 sentences in, and I've already thought of 4 other things, and I have no idea what I just read.
Yeah.
No
That's
idea.
a problem.
I couldn't even tell you what it was about. I can read a book, though. If I want to read a book, I can sit down and read a book. But I cannot, like, if I'm not interested in something, I'm checked out.
You can't force yourself.
I cannot focus on it. And my poor son, I get it because he's the same way. I'm
poor
like,
thing.
So we're going to work on ADHD. I really am going to work on it.
That's
I
good.
feel like I need a little assistance in how to redirect, I guess. So I think I'll get a lot more done with less work. That's
true.
the goal, to work smarter, not harder. So
I love that.
that is the goal. So
My New Year's, going into my new year, new era, I'm continuing in my new job. And so what my jobs are now that I'm not at the Boys and Girls Club anymore, frees up a lot of time, actually, and also gives me time to pursue things that I'm very invested and interested in. So I am rekindling my past loves and past things that I have enjoyed doing. But one of the things I enjoy doing, one of the most, is mentoring. I like to be able to work with people and to work with special needs, particularly because I do so well and I understand so much about mental health because I have lived so much of it. So I really like to be able to give back and to work with people who suffer with different mental health, And so being a mentor is number 1 on my list. I'm wanting to go ahead, since now that the holidays and everything are over with, starting the new year, to start subbing. I want to be able to sub around this area so that I can see some of the kids that I have known through the Boys and Girls Club and to keep those connections and those relationships. And also, another new thing that I, want to talk about is that my aunt, which is the lawyer, she's wanting to start a new business because she's not going to be at the law firm for the rest of her life. Now that she has this law firm and it's a well-oiled machine and it's doing its thing, she's now looking to the next chapter of her life and what she's wanting to do. And so we have a lot of writers in the family. We have all kinds of books and things that are not even published. And so we're starting a publishing company. She is starting a publishing company. And so it is Warner's Publishing, and they are starting with, family books that they are going to be, putting out, and also different books that just people in our family have written. Like my brother, he's an author, and he's written numerous books. He just hasn't gone to, with a publishing company yet.
Right.
And so he's like, what better company to go for than the, one in my own family?
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that because, they're wanting to use me to do some of the audio books, and if that's what I want to do. And that is something that I think would be a lot of fun to try because I love audiobooks. I love to read, and I find comfort in a human voice, and that's how I can really lose myself in a story, is listening to it. And so I've always wanted to see what I could do as far as that. So I'm excited. So that's is fun. What I'm looking forward to in the new year.
I love this for your aunt too.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited for my family.
I love when people get to do something that they want to do that they don't have to do. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's awesome. That she's just like, you know what? I'm a publisher now.
Right.
I was already a lawyer, now a publisher.
I know. I love it.
That's like my mom when she decided she wanted to be a painter. Mm-hmm. I mean, and won first place with her first.
And that's why not? Why not?
Right.
Why not try to do something that you want to do?
Me start podcasting in my late 40s.
Right.
Like,
why not?
Why not? I don't, you know what I mean?
I love that we're here right now.
I mean, I love the fact that there's something that I get to do that's for me, or you get to do that's for you. But we get to do it because we want to do it. We don't have to do it, and we get to enjoy doing it. And there's a lot of benefits of it, and it's cool, you know what I mean? But honestly, it's a little like therapy every week.
It very much is for me, especially. Even if we're not able to actually record, just taking the time that I would anyways like to reassess and go back into the things that I have stored, either written down or just mentally thought about, I would like to talk about this. It forces me to dive a little bit deeper on subjects that stick out to me or that I'm going to reassess with someone. And that's the sort of thing that I do in therapy. Things stick out in my mind, or situations or conversations or interactions with people that either I feel I could have handled better, or I don't know if I handled it correctly. And I reassess myself in those ways in therapy so that I can better understand my psyche and the way I react to things, and who exactly had the reins at that particular moment.
Right.
And so it's very beneficial to me to think back on situations and reassess. And I have to do that whenever we're doing the podcast because I think about what I would like to share, and I pick and choose it's like a highlight reel. Mm-hmm. What would I like to share, and how would I like to
That's a big part of it too, because we only get to share certain things on here for obvious time constraints, but also because some things are meant to be for us.
Yes.
And and it's good to be able to talk about these things. And typically, when we get here together to do this, but prior to this, we sit and talk about what we've been doing and catch up, or afterwards we catch up about the things we couldn't talk about. Yeah. And I mean, it's like having a scheduled appointment.
Yes, it's very fulfilling. I walk out of hanging out with you and doing these podcast sessions, and I feel like I just left a spa. I've never left a spa before, so I wouldn't exactly know how that felt.
That's how you
but
feel.
I could imagine that's probably how somebody feels. You're like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders.
When I had dinner with Shelby and Erica the other night, I was like, y'all, I really need a pedicure, so can we also get a pedicure first? I really want to get a pedicure. And they were like, yeah, we'll go. So we go get the pedicure, and it's the three of us there. Now, mind you, we have been friends a very long time. Very long time. Like Erica and I since we were 5, and Shelby and I since 7th grade. And we, so it's almost like we don't have to actually have a conversation. We can be 4 words, and the other one's yeah. And, and so we're
y'all talking a kind of
code.
shorthand.
Yeah,
almost.
it's like shorthand. So we're kind of doing that, and I'm in the middle, and we're going back and forth, and it's my regular nail place, the one that I always go to and you go to, and they know me, and so
Yeah, they do.
and I always talk to them and everything, and so when mine took longer because none of them wanted the deluxe, like I get the bougie one because it's my one thing I really splurge on for myself. They wanted the basic one, so I got slightly better than basic.
You were like middle bitch.
And I didn't even get middle bitch. Girl has needs. But so they finished before me and they got up and they went and waited to pay or whatever they did. And I was still sitting there and the lady's talking to me and the lady was like, "You and your friends are so funny together." She was like, I don't even know what y'all were saying. I don't even know. She goes, "I think that's how y'all feel when we're over here speaking to each other in our language."
It's so true.
She goes, "I know English. I'm just saying y'all didn't really speak." I don't know what I was like.
I don't know what that was, but it was
I
not
said,
English.
"Girl, we have been friends for so long that we can just look and laugh." Like, but again, it was a great, catching up. We went to dinner, and then we came back to my house and just hung out at my house for like 2 hours maybe, and that was it. And they went home, and it was just I guess some gossiping going on, but more than less, we were talking about us, like our, how we feel, how someone made me feel, or how the holidays made us feel. And, it was really cool to get it all out.
Just
but I didn't have to go to a whole weekend at the cabin to do it.
I did
it
was a quick sesh.
Yeah. So I know. So I like that was a good start to my year.
I love that for you, and I'm so excited for this new year. It's going to be a good one.
I feel like it better be good.
Let's just make it through. How about that?
Yeah, that's the goal.
I'm going to see you on the other side, girlfriend. Okay,
we're going to just make it through. We have nowhere to go but up.
I know.
I even jinx. If this was real wood, I'd knock it, but we know it's not real wood, so we're not going to. All the real wood I got to reach.
If you're by some wood right now,
knock for us,
knock
please.
it, please.
We're just going to make it through. We're just going to make it through.
We'll see y'all on this side.
All right, so we obviously need to talk about what happened on Christmas.
Christmas, yes.
Christmas. And by what happened, nothing bad happened.
Yeah,
but
no.
You know what I mean?
We just got to catch up on Christmas, okay?
What'd you do? So for Christmas, I had it at my house. I did not have to go anywhere. I thought, this is going to be low-key. This is what we're going to do. And it was, but I spent the whole damn day cooking again.
No, man.
And I had gone to Rick and I was like, "Listen, can we just do Mexican food? I'll just do a really good layout of Mexican food, like everything you can imagine." And it's just Mexican food. It's easy and it's fast and it uses the same like 6 items.
Yeah.
So, And so I was like that, and he was like, no, I really want what you normally cook. And I was like, I do too. I like Thanksgiving for Christmas.
Yeah.
I am one of those people.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah, and so I get where he's coming from. It's just that I didn't have as much time off as I normally do. So I was like, I'm really tired. Because again, I overdid things. And but he really wanted it, and I wanted it too. He was like, instead of a turkey, let's just do a ham that's already made. We'll buy a ham, and that'll make some things easier. I was like, all right, that's like the easiest part. But whatever. So then I go to his grandparents' house, and they're Hispanic, and they had all Mexican food. And I was like, it was the night before. I was like, oh, yeah, no wonder he didn't want Mexican food. He didn't even say that. And he had real Mexican food. Like, his grandma made it, And then apparently the next day he went to his mom's house for an hour and they also had Mexican food. So I was like, okay, now I see why he didn't want Mexican food. So it was laid back. Basically we did a big Christmas opening thing in the morning, and which is what we always do. All my children made it. They brought their significant others. Everybody opened their gifts. And then it was time for everybody to leave. Rick went to go see his mom for lunch, and Zaylee had to go on to her dad's house and then her boyfriend's family's house, and Zane and Maddie had to get on the road because she had to get back to Austin to go to work. So it just left me and the 2 kids that live here. And I did get to sit. I took a nap. Before I started cleaning. Started really cooking. You know what I mean? So I did. I get a good nap in. But you remember I said I was giving everybody forks and spoons? Mm-hmm. I gave everybody their forks and spoons. They were all mad. They did not see the humor in the fork. Every one of them had a little remark. Like, they weren't mad. They were like, it's not me. I don't lose them.
You know what? I'm so happy that they were all mad.
They were like, it's not me. I'm not the one that loses them. Every one of them got defensive.
I'm like, everybody got them.
I said, you can all consider it a gift to me because I didn't lose them, obviously.
It wasn't me.
And I've replaced them like 5 times, and I'm sick of not being able to find a fork. So if it has to come in the form of your stocking for me to get forks and spoons again, and we had plenty of spoons, but previously they had lost my soup spoons, and I love soup spoons. I use it for all kinds of, it's my favorite kind of spoon, is a soup spoon. So instead of regular spoons, I got them all soup spoons, and they were mad about that.
Well, they can stay mad.
And then my kids are all adults, and they've never really complained about Christmas ever. Ever. My kids have always been so thankful and easy to shop for and don't have high expectations. And so sometimes they're blown away, and sometimes they should be probably a little disappointed, and they aren't. And, you know, it depends on how the year's going. And but no one's ever been disappointed until this year. And the kid I spent the most money on had some comments. Wow. And he was overthinking it, but I got him socks and underwear and like body wash and stuff. I get everybody that every year. Everybody expects socks and underwear and body wash from their mom. That's a pretty normal mom thing.
Yeah, it is.
And he took it personal, like I was saying something about his hygiene. I said, did you look around the room at all the socks and underwear and body wash in this room? Because every single person, that's what they got as a gift. It wasn't the only thing they got. You know what I mean? Well, Zane, it was, because I gave him money for something he needed. And so I don't know if he was just not feeling it that morning. He did later apologize to me. Yeah. But I was just like, boy, you just totally overthought that.
Well,
you just
that
totally
happens.
overthought that. Well, then Rick's, I get the big box. And did we talk about the big box on the last episode of what he ordered me, or is that just you and I talking?
I don't think you discussed it.
Okay, so, okay.
You're asking the wrong person what we talked about.
Well, y'all get to hear it again. I'll make it quick, that part. But basically, I didn't know what to tell Rick that I wanted. And because I didn't really know what I wanted, and I don't really care about stuff like that. And oh yeah, I did talk about it because I remember because when I listened to it, I was thinking it, where I was like, you're making me think about it now. Like you're you know, and so it was about that Consuela purse. And he told me that he got just stocking stuffers, and I was thinking I overreacted because he just got stocking stuffers. And then this big ass box arrives. It is definitely not stocking stuffers. This thing is huge. It's like 3 feet tall on its end. I'm like, what the hell's in this box? And so he gets home. I'm like, this is not stocking stuffers, and it's from Consuela. So you did get a purse. I mean, I can't get mad he bought me a purse, right? Now I sound like an asshole. Now I sound like my kid pissed about socks and underwear. So I'm like, and I'm gonna love it. I love Consuela. It's not, you know. So I was like, okay. And so he just left it there, and I opened it on Christmas, and it was not technically a purse. It was a bag, like a big...
Like a tote bag.
A tote bag, their largest tote bag they carry. Problem is, I already had one, and he didn't know it. It's identical. It's just one has a background of black, and the one I previously had a background of white. But I had lost it. I had looked everywhere for it, and I couldn't find it. So when I opened it, I was genuinely very excited because I was like, oh, my God, I had this bag, and I loved it, and I don't know what happened to it. I just don't know what I did to it. And I haven't been able to find it. And so I use it all the time when we go to the cabin for food. I carry my crackers and stuff, all my food in there that doesn't have to stay cold. And so I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm happy about it. It had other Consuela stuff in there. It had a cute little tumbler, and it had a cute little key ring, you know, whatever. So it had a few things in there. But so then fast forward to day before yesterday, and I'm cleaning Zell's room with him and reorganizing it. And I've decided that he needed some new curtains and some new sheets, and I'm just kind of giving him a fresh up on his bedroom. So we're doing that, and we're thoroughly cleaning. And I go open his closet to see the condition of the inside of the closet. And what is in the closet, front and center? My fucking bag. So I'm back to having 2 of them. And I'm not disappointed.
I'm glad you found it. I mean, 2's better than 1.
And we've discussed on this podcast before about moms and their bags, how women, and particularly moms, I knew my mom by her bags. She always had different bags for things. And I thought, you can never have, you might be able to have enough purses, but you can never have enough bags. Because sometimes you're carrying 8. Sometimes none, sometimes 4. You might need a big one. So I'm not
never know.
disappointed. I'm
You
not
never know.
disappointed. He did good. He did good. So, and then I made him buy me a sweater because I think he felt like he didn't get me something good enough, which he did. But he was like, I'm going to give you some money too. I was like, for what? And I was like, for that trip with my cousins. He goes, I thought that was for your birthday. I go, oh yeah, good point. Okay. And I go, so other money? He goes, yeah. So then I went to the Weston store to get one of my hats reshaped. And while I was there getting my hat reshaped, I found a beautiful, warm, cozy floor-length sweater, and I bought that.
That sounds amazing.
But my Christmas, that's it. Y'all, I'm a homebody right now. My stories are going to being about a homebody right now, and I'm happy with this situation.
I love that.
Oh, I will say my daughter-in-law, bless her heart, Zane's girlfriend, best gift giver on earth. And she brought me 3 robes because she couldn't pick one color. And they're all Sarap. And they're beautiful. And they're perfect, like fabric, perfect cut, fit me beautifully. I told her, I was like, I'm going to be like the dude that abides, from that movie. I'm going to be living in these robes. Tomorrow, New Year's Day, I will be in the robe all day.
That's wonderful.
So that's where I am.
I'll put my robe on too, so that will be having the same vibe.
Yes, we'll take pictures and send to each other.
Right, that sounds perfect.
Friend goals. Friend goals.
For my Christmas, I went to my parents' house in Greenville because I always spend Christmas Eve with them. And then usually I'll spend the night, but this year I didn't spend the night. Dante was able to be off work, so we both went together. It stormed the whole way down there.
Oh my God, the weather was so bad.
It was insane. I was like, man, this is supposed to be snow, but of course it's Texas, and so it's just a bunch of rain.
So much rain.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So, but we had a nice time. We had Mexican. Well, they like to make this tortilla soup, and so they make tortilla soup and chips and dip. And my mom made like spinach artichoke dip, and she made this mulled wine that she had gotten a kit from the winery that's down there, the Landon Winery, and so they got this mulled wine kit. And so it's basically like they make it in like one of the coffee things, and so the tin coffee things whatever.
Okay.
The big one that you like serve out of.
A pitcher.
Yeah, there's a big old coffee thing.
Yeah.
But you put the wine with spices and different things like that. So it's almost like a sangria, but it's like warm and has a lot of spices in it. And it was amazing.
It's like a winter wine.
So good. I was very happy I wasn't driving because it was very good. So we had a wonderful little Christmas time, and we always just they have presents for the kids, and they have stockings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They get us my mom and dad always get all the kids at least one thing, and we never know what to get Dante because Dante is literally it's just he's like trying to buy for dad. Like, what are you gonna get dad? Like, you get socks and underwear. Like, I don't know. So, but the last year, he loves Harry's razors. It was a new thing that he, discovered that he loves. So I was like, just get him Reese's. That's his favorite candy, and some Harry's razors. And so that's what I told Mom this year. I was like, just Reese's and razors. So, he opens up his Reese's.
He's a simple man.
He was very happy. It was wonderful.
I got Rick a hard hat, but it's like women don't know this, but when your husband gives you a hard time about your expensive purse, and if he wears a brown hard hat, okay, if he owns a hard hat that's brown, it doesn't look like other ones, that's his expensive hard hat.
Yeah.
You don't need that hard hat. Okay, it doesn't do anything extra except look like you're carrying like a Coach or whatever purse it is you're into.
Yeah, it's how they show off.
It's like a designer hard hat, and usually the boss wears it because he's the only one that can afford it.
Yeah.
So I got him a designer hard hat, and he was like, "I can't wear this. I don't." And he is the boss, He was like, "I can't. I'm not. No." And then, but I said, "Oh, but this one, I picked the right one because this is what I do for a living. I sell construction stuff." I said, "This one it has a better," and explain all the better options and how it's more comfortable and it's lightweight and how it hits your head and twists. And he was like, he put it on and he was like, "Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I'm gonna keep this one."
I'm sold.
And then I got him a ball cap that he's always wanted, and he was happy. We were happy. Everybody was happy with their gifts. I did have to talk the one kid down, but
well, that's fine. And so we had Christmas at the house, at Dante's house. So we went over to his parents' house, and I got Dante. He wanted a new cooler, like a lunch cooler to take to work with, because the last one that I got him a couple of years ago that he loved got smashed at work. Like it's dead.
Yeah, it's gone.
So I was like, okay, well, you're going to have to let me know what you want. And he had gone to Academy with his daughter to get some Christmas presents. And he sent me a picture of 2 different coolers. And so then I called him. I was like, how are you going to send me 2 different? Which one do you want, sweetheart?
Yeah.
And one was, I don't know what it was, but the other one was a blue Yeti. And I knew that he wanted the blue Yeti because his favorite color is blue. And I know that's the one that he really wanted.
And Yeti is a good one. So.
And I was like, well, which one do you want? He's like, well, that one, he told me that the Yeti one was the one that all his friends had at work. Aww. And I was like, oh, okay. Well,
that's so cute.
So I got that for him, but I didn't tell him I was getting it, but I figured he, put 2 and 2 together. But when I went to Academy, I thought he went to Academy here. And I didn't see it at first. Like, it wasn't where they had all of the Yeti stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm standing there, like, looking, and I find one that's similar, but I know it's not the right one. I know it's smaller than what he wanted. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get this one. And I was like, man, well, 2 employees were walking by, and I guess I was looking just like I didn't know what I was doing, like a typical girl. And so they were like, can we help you? And I showed them the picture. I was like, I need this. I was like, I think that they were here yesterday, and this is what I need. And they're like, oh, well, this is over on the back wall. And so they showed me where it actually was. I was like, okay, perfect. So they get it down for me. And so I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. And he's like, okay, well, let me send you the picture of the one I want. Right. And I was like, nope, just one.
Nice try.
So I put that under. I had got him a stocking, and I got his son and his daughter a stocking, and like just stuffed it with some stuff. And, and then his little Yeti was, underneath his stocking, and so he woke up and he found it, and he loved it.
Very nice.
It was wonderful. He couldn't be a Grinch after that. He's so funny. He's very much a bah humbug kind of person when it comes to the holidays and everything like that.
Rick, he's not like, I actually said that to him. I was like, bah humbug, because I was taking down the Christmas ornaments and putting everything up, and I was like, gosh, I didn't think this was going to take me so long. Well, you didn't have to put it up. Why did you even put it up? And I was like, what do you mean? You don't?
Bah humbug.
Why would I not put up Christmas decorations?
I don't put up Christmas decorations.
I mean, you don't have a house full of, like, kids. You have 2 kids, but they have multiple homes. But that's not what they're used to.
You are either a decorator or you're not a decorator.
And Rick just doesn't.
I am not a decorator.
He thinks it's wasted energy. And I'm like, nah.
It's not, though. If you're a decorator, it has a payoff value.
Right, absolutely.
Okay,
it makes me feel
you enjoy it. But if you're not a decorator, if you could take it or leave it, that's time that I could not have to do that.
Well, and my thing isn't as much as the decorating part as the memories of it, because it's it's my kids and I thing. It's all these things came from some memory. We didn't just go to the store and I didn't go to the store and make everything match. Everything has a little memory, and I like that part of it. I like traditional things. I'm a traditionalist in many ways. My mom did this to me, really.
I think it's wonderful. It is good to think about the little things that make a difference and that stick out in your mind, because in your memories, the things that you think about are scents, obviously, and also festive things like that,
right?
Well, that give you joy
and give you good memories. Yeah. So now I can look back on my childhood, and there's things that I did, like I talked about the gumdrop tree with my granddaddy. There's memories that I have that we did every year, and my kids, this is their memories they're going to have every year. It's going to be watching that Christmas movie every Christmas Eve, and it's going to be decorating the Christmas tree with the ornaments and talking about each ornament and how funny it was or not funny it was. And there's a million stories on that tree. So putting it up is more than putting up a Christmas tree. We do it together, and we have the same conversations every year about every ornament, and it's a memory. And they're going to remember the memories because we talk about them every year. And so that's where my thought process is when I say with the kids. Little different situation when you have a blended family. Like, Madison was right in the middle of it helping us, but she doesn't have those attachments to that, So, I have her bring her own ornaments so we can start her memories being part of it too, and we can have those conversations, and, going well so far.
That's good.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so another thing that we did over the Christmas holiday was we went to Allie's wedding, and I'm so happy that we were able to make it. It was a beautiful, beautiful wedding.
It really was.
I love weddings that you can dress up and really just go all out for, and it was so great.
Everyone there was dressed so nice too.
Yes. I was like, there are a lot of attractive people at this
She
wedding.
did. That's the first thing she said. We sat down. She looked around. She goes, "Look at all the attractive people here."
So many attractive people there.
And everybody really dressed up. Like she wanted it formal.
Everywhere you looked, it was just a masterpiece.
Yeah, I loved
beautiful.
it. Men and women got involved.
Yes.
And I loved people watching.
And they had a mariachi band.
Yes.
I decided I need my own personal mariachi band.
follow you
just
around.
everywhere.
The mariachi band was one of my favorite parts. And one of the other things was they had the little, what's the little game I always, Jenga. They had a miniature Jenga.
Yes.
And they had, instead of everyone signing a book, you signed the Jenga piece so they can play Jenga with the names of all their guests or just save it, whatever they're going to do
so
for
cute.
it.
That was a really cute idea.
I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that she is Hispanic and he's white, and they incorporated both of their family things that they do, or things that might be more Hispanic thing with the dances and that kind of. It was She really had a good time.
Yes.
And she looked so happy.
Yes, she was so beautiful. I'm glad
she
that we were
was.
there.
Her dress was stunning. I love the fact that she only had one bridesmaid and one groomsman because it was just so intimate.
Yes, it was.
I just felt like the whole thing was a big intimate wedding.
Yep.
Everything seemed very intimate, and everyone definitely came to celebrate them. I didn't feel like it was like an obligation thing, It was really funny, and we had a little funny thing with people at the table with us.
I reinvented, or how do I rekindled my love for Malibu pineapple.
Oh yeah, that was good. They did have an open bar also.
I was like, how did I forget how much I love this? How good this is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and then they served us food, and it was delicious. And there was a couple next to me, to the right of me, that was just really outgoing and really friendly. And then we talked to them for a minute. And then the couple next to them, we didn't talk to them as much because it was kind of awkward.
It was a big table.
It was a big table, yeah. But they were talking to the couple next to me, and they were having a good time. It was a good match, those two couples next to each other.
Yes, they were.
And
the
they didn't know
next
each other.
to me were not talking at all.
We could not get them to talk to us.
I even tried, which is
like multiple
saying
times.
a lot for me. I tried, but no.
Even when, one time when you tried to talk to them, they didn't even turn and look at you.
No, I was
like the girl answered but didn't say anything. And
I don't
was
think
like,
that I was allowed to exist right there.
It was very awkward. But everybody at the table seemed nice enough. But, but the other lady, the other couple that was talking to the couple next to me, right before we left, like you had gotten up and gone to the restroom, and I don't know what I was doing, standing up, ready to go. And the lady comes over to me, and she was like, "Are y'all in a band? Y'all look like you're in a band." And I was like, no, we're not in a band. Are you sure? Are you sure y'all aren't in a
I think
band?
you're lying to me.
I was like, I'm positive we're not in a band.
But we did talk to them a little bit about the podcast, and I had one sticker left with me, and so I gave the couple that was sitting right next to you a sticker because they had all said that they wanted to look it up. And then you were like, "Oh, I have more stickers out in the truck. I'll go get them real quick." And so you had gone out to the truck to get more stickers.
Yeah.
And I went to the restroom, and when you came back, you had given them more stickers. I guess that's when they asked you.
That's when I was asked if we were in a band. And I took it as such a compliment. I got it home and I told Rick, and he was like, "You do not look like you're in a band."
You're just jealous.
I said, "You know what? There's bands with 50-year-old women in them. Come on."
I
did, though. I had on my suit. I was feeling it.
We were looking fly.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I know.
I would have
Your
taken us
dress
home.
was stunning.
I loved it.
So, it was fun to dress up, and it was a beautiful wedding. And Allie, thank you for inviting us.
Yes, we love you so much.
Yes, we can't wait to see you again. I know she'll be at something else.
I hope so.
I have no doubt. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.